Kurt and Wendy, welcome to the show. Thanks for traveling down. A little bit of a commute for you guys today. We appreciate the flexibility. And I'm excited because, Wendy, this has been something you've been called on. This has been tugging at you for a while, it sounds like. As we got to talk a little prior to doing this episode, you mentioned that the timing of Adam's call on creating a podcast and then Adam, Chuck, and I getting together and doing the first episode with Adam, you were just at the moment of sharing some of your testimony with some close friends, and you were exposed to our podcast in an organic way, and you reached out almost immediately. And I'm glad I responded back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You were like, hey, and I was blown away. I read your text and I shared it with Adam and Chuck right away. And we were just immediately like, okay, how are we going to make this work? We know there's a little bit of a distance thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were praying about the right time to get you down here or come up to you. And yeah, I'm super excited for hearing what God's put on your heart to share with us.
I really thank you guys so much for taking the time to put all this together, this whole setup and everything, and for letting me have the opportunity to share my story.
Yeah, absolutely. And we obviously have to say it's great having Kurt here. When you asked if Kurt could join, whether he's the emotional support animal or the tag team member, I think he's probably all the above. It's
That's
obviously
for sure.
awesome having Kurt here.
Sometimes I'm the burr under her saddle as well.
Happens.
That's just years of being together, years of marriage.
Yeah.
34 years.
34 years. Wow. I just celebrated 10 years yesterday.
Congratulations.
10 years yesterday.
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
Lord knows I've tried to put it in the ditch and screw it up for many, many times, but I have a very strong wife that gives me grace and forgiveness and shows. Amazing how the Lord can show himself through my wife.
Amen. Yeah.
In beauty and wrath, but but yes, no, 34 years.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. 34 years. And, it's every day doesn't matter if it's 10 years or 34 years, every day is
A new day.
a challenge, and, just keep making the right choices, I guess.
So with the 34 years, have you guys always kind of had a foundation of faith would you say, for your whole marriage?
Yes.
Okay. So that's been something you've been able, I mean, obviously you could probably look back and go, 34 years ago, it was at a lot different stage than it is now, just from life experience, church, worship, reading the word. But that's something that you guys have always been able to ground yourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
amazing. I think
Yeah.
if you can have a marriage that's based on faith and that's your bedrock,
Yeah.
that'll pull you through a lot of storms. I think that the world tries to throw your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, Wendy,
For
where
sure.
do you want to start?
Well, I guess I'll start with, I don't know, maybe the end and work back to the beginning.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But a few months ago, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed and whatever, and came across a post of a little family, husband and wife, and their little boy. And she was making a post in memory of her husband, and it was his 6-month anniversary of his suicide.
Mm.
Didn't know them, just came across that, and I wept, absolutely wept for that family and for that wife and that son. The husband, Kurt, came in going, honey, what's wrong? And I just couldn't even talk. And that was when I said, I think maybe God wants me to share my story. And I didn't really know to who, or I just didn't have a lot of details on it, but I did feel like maybe it was the answer to my why, because the whole time I had been going through this, my heart just cried, why? Why, God, are you allowing this? Why is this happening to me? I mean, yeah, I didn't suffer through that like a very good Christian. It was really bad, and
by this you mean depression.
depression, yeah. And so I feel like maybe I have a little bit of insight to that issue and the issue of depression, and that maybe something I might say could help somebody in a similar situation. Okay, so now can I just keep going from there?
Yeah, please keep going.
Okay, so for like 30 years, I have suffered from depression. It started with postpartum, and that just changed me. It absolutely changed me. I was not the same person. And, for about 10 years, I, worked through my family doctor. That was so frustrating because he would put me on something and it would work for 5-6 months, I don't know, and then all of a sudden be right back at square one. So he'd take me off that one and start me at another one, and it would work for 2 months, 5 months, whatever, and then it wouldn't work anymore. And so and this happened like 5 or 6 times, and I was just so hopeless, like, nothing's gonna work for me.
All these Band-Aids just keep falling off.
Mm-hmm. And so finally, I don't know why it took so long, but finally he referred me to a psychiatrist. And so I would say that if you're dealing with depression and it's not going so well with your family doctor, go to the next level sooner rather than later. And that doctor was able to put together a regimen or something that really worked for me, and it worked for about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and
was this like medication or just certain
yes,
things? Okay,
it
okay.
was medication.
Just yep, okay.
And then he retired.
Oh no.
How could he? And things just really fell apart. But a lot of things kind of
Life things.
just life kind of happens. I mean, we were in a snowmobile accident and I was in excruciating pain for a long time, and I knew it was going to hurt for a while, but it didn't quit hurting. And so maybe after a month or so, I started to go to the chiropractor, and that made it worse. So a little bit later, I went to the doctor, and they did an x-ray. Nope, nothing, you're fine. And
meanwhile, you're still tons of pain.
Oh, I'm in so much
they're telling you you're okay.
Torn hamstring.
And you're like, oh.
It's a torn hamstring.
Third doctor appointment. I also had a CAT scan. No, nothing. Sent me to physical therapy. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even walk after I would leave physical therapy. And there's just this feeling of, I don't know, like you're making it up or something, And finally, the physical therapist sent me to a sports doctor, and they did an MRI because x-rays and CAT scans don't catch everything.
Yep.
MRI comes back, he's like, yeah, you have a torn hamstring. And
how long now? So, like, what's the time span?
3-4 months.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And he's like, he wanted to send me out with a walker. Or a walker. I'm like, I have been walking on this for 4 months.
Yeah.
I am not going out of here in a walker.
I'm not going backwards now. Now I know why it hurts, but I'm not going backwards.
Yeah, there was that. There was my mom had cancer and she quit chemo treatments and had an obstructed bowel and came into, this was all over a course of 6 or 7 months, and came into our home for hospice. And she had been there for about 6 weeks or something, I think. And she passed away. So there was that. My mom died. COVID, I got the vaccine and I got COVID 3 times, and I got the booster and I got COVID again. I mean, just all this. I mean,
A lot of just life,
just a lot
heavy
of
things,
stuff.
like you were saying. Yeah.
Perfect storm of all things.
Just filling your bucket up.
And then I developed tardive dyskinesia, which is kind of like Parkinson's disease, but it's from long-term use of antipsychotics. And so you shake, and like I couldn't even hold a glass of water to take a drink of water.
Okay.
I was shake so bad. You get facial stuff, whatever,
Little
ticks.
ticks, yep.
And
Okay.
my left leg would jump. I couldn't stop it. It just... So anyway, they titrated me off all of my meds, like one at a time. And so that took a total of probably 4 or 5 months. And, it didn't go away until the last med was gone. And
The tardive dyskinesia didn't go away.
yeah, the tardive
Okay. But then
dyskinesia.
that did go away after you got off all those meds.
It did.
But then came,
The crash.
okay.
Total crash. And it was really bad. And I tried ketamine.
Was it instant? Was it almost like,
No,
was
it had been...
I mean, you had all these things going on, but then you got off the medication.
I'd been
And then-
working up to this. It kind of started with
Okay.
the
So there was something.
hamstring.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
kind of where it started. But there were many other things. Like
Yeah.
I said, my mom passed away, but lots of stuff. And then once I got off the last med, it was just like crash. I just crashed. I was completely hopeless. The ketamine didn't work. I couldn't get back into my nurse practitioner for 2 months, and I thought, how do you expect me to live for 2 months? I mean,
Okay.
it was really, really bad, and it was like that for about 2 years, and,
Even when you got back into the nurse practitioner, you still had.
well, actually, she wouldn't see me anymore,
Mm.
because doctors get frustrated with people that don't get better.
They want the instant.
Right.
Give you this, and you just light switch, fixed it.
I've been seeing you for a year, and you're still not better.
Pass you to the next one, kind of thing.
You're frustrating. Go see
Okay.
somebody else, whatever.
Yeah.
She never
You're
got
not helping
back
my stats
to
here.
me. Yeah. She never got back to me. And so I really was crashing. And it was the blackest, heaviest experience. I just... I couldn't get up for work. I was teaching full time, and my insomnia was a huge problem. And then I'd be so tired I couldn't get up. And
So through this, sorry, I don't want to interrupt here, but just
No,
through this, you're
please.
teaching,
yeah,
and what? So what are you teaching?
I am teaching Title I
Okay.
at a 4-5 school.
Okay.
And I mean, I just couldn't get up. I'd keep hitting snooze and snooze. And finally it was like too late. I didn't even have time to like shower and brush my teeth. I would throw on whatever and go to work. And
So just grinding through the day, just
it was so bad.
fighting the day, basically.
And like, I'd have to grab dirty clothes off the floor because I hadn't done laundry in 3-4 months. I mean, it was so dark. And I took some leave to try the ketamine. That was supposed to be the best thing in 50 years for depression, and it did not work for me, not one bit. They kept upping the dose. They were so wonderful. They really, really worked with me and worked hard, and it just didn't work. And
a lot of people have had really good results from that, but it just didn't work for Wendy.
Okay. Okay. So
It's a very promising field, but it just didn't.
The idea was there, and the data showed this is really what should work. But that's the thing about the human body is what works for you doesn't work for me, and we are just very different creatures.
and I even wrote in like a journal, I hope I'm not part of the 22% that it doesn't work for. And it's like, yeah, that was me, 22%. So that was, I couldn't go back. I tried to go back to work because I was just on a leave. And I tried to go back to work, and I made it there the first day, but I couldn't stay. And the second day, I tried, and finally I just was like, I called my principal and said, I can't come in. I need to meet regarding a medical leave. And the school was so kind, and, they just granted me a medical leave right then. For 6 weeks or something. And then as I'd get close to the end of 6 weeks, I would just start to, hyperventilate and
Because
cry.
you got to go back to work now.
Because I'm going to have to go back to work. And
Did it help? I mean, that beginning parts of the leave, you had a little bit of resolution?
It definitely helped to not have to go to
But
work.
it's just like adding that little bit more was where the teetering point was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just had to, take the rest of the year off. And then I retired at the end of that year because couldn't do it. There was absolutely no hope in my future of ever teaching again. I was just non-functioning. And so for about 2 years, I just pretty much stayed in bed.
Wow.
I rarely got dressed. I left the house, maybe half a dozen times in a year.
Maybe.
Pick up groceries once in a great while.
But afraid to go to town because people see you, and then you got to answer questions. And how you doing? And
where you
all
been?
All of the pleasantries that people just
They want
share.
to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hard when you're struggling like that.
Yeah.
And as a teacher for 34 years.
Everyone knows you.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
small
you.
Community, yeah.
Gossip starts. Somebody starts something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the whole stigma of it, that was just, cringy. And because there's a lot of stigma around mental illness. And a lot of people will give you advice and, you should do this or you should do that.
Exercise more. You'll be better.
And
We're all Google doctors.
So, and my feeling is for those people, like a person who has really seriously dealt with a mental illness, those are the kind of people who have no clue.
Yeah.
They have no clue what you're walking through.
And no fault of their own, because I'm that guy too.
Right.
I'm married to her, and I'm the guy with no clue.
Just trying to encourage her and do something, and you're like,
Right.
but you can't relate well enough to
Actually,
actually.
and if you haven't experienced it, you just don't know what it really is.
Yeah. So when you were going through, did it feel, very biblical to you? Did it feel like a God, devil, evil thing to you? Or was it just like a full-on attack of like life and just everything at once? I'm just trying to, like I said, like Kurt, just trying to pull out a little bit if we can to share with the audience.
I tried so hard. I prayed so hard, begging the Lord to just heal me, take this from me. How hard can it be? It's just something in my head, why wouldn't God do that? Why would he let me? It was a huge spiritual struggle, and I told people, like I'd meet with therapists, whatever. It's like,
Why me?
yeah, and the spiritual part of that was the hardest part. I did have, like, at one point, I had a playlist of songs that I called battle songs.
Good.
You know, it was like Ann Wilson and Brandon Lake and, you know, just like
Yeah, like fighting back music.
fighting back
Yeah.
music. And pretty soon I couldn't listen to that at all.
Okay.
I couldn't listen to any Christian music. The devil had me convinced that I was not a Christian because if I was a Christian, then God wouldn't
Wouldn't let this happen to you.
let this happen to me.
Or he'd
So-
somehow allow you to deliver from it and you weren't getting the deliverance.
Yeah. So then I didn't ever like verbalize that or whatever. It was just in my head that I was, you know, that those were the thoughts in my head. And I didn't pray. I used to just like pray all the time, just like,
Yeah.
and I couldn't pray anymore. I was mad at God, so I wasn't going to talk to him. I mean, one time, Kurt was throwing a little tantrum about something, like he does sometimes, and
Rarely.
you know, I was just gonna, you know, my thought was to just, Lord, please help Kurt, and then I was just like, no, I'm not talking to God. And so it was just a mess. It was a huge mess. Very, very dark. And you know, I think Psalm 88 absolutely describes the kind of despair that you just shared with me, Adam. Would you mind reading that?
Yeah, we can tee that up. Adam, you got that over there?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you want to do you want to do the whole thing or just
Whatever you think.
Okay.
Just the first
Yeah.
part or whatever.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And so I'll say this. I found this psalm, and I've read it before, but I found this psalm in my mom's Bible, and I didn't know that she was institutionalized for postpartum depression. And this was on a letterhead, a top of the top of letterhead for this. I think it was called Golden Valley Health Services, and my dad told me about this, and I guess like this is part of my history that I didn't even know. And so this was like there was probably like a half dozen psalms written down on this little piece of paper and a handful of proverbs. And then like so I didn't even know that my mom suffered from this. Like and we were talking
We
earlier.
don't talk about it. People
Nobody
don't want
talks
to talk.
about it.
No.
Doesn't make her any less of my mom or
No.
an amazing woman or a Christian.
Just brings up a conversation you wish you could have had, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much to learn.
Lord, you are the God who saves me. Day and night I cry out to you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. I am overwhelmed with troubles, and my life draws near to death. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am like one without strength. I am set apart with the dead, like the slain who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, who are cut off from your care. You have put me in the lowest pit, in the darkest depth. Your wrath lies heavily on me. You have overwhelmed me with all your waves. You have taken from me my closest friends and have made me repulsive to them. I am confined and cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, Lord. Every day I spread out my hands to you. Do you show your wonders to the dead? Do their spirits rise up and praise you? Is your love declared in the grave? Your faithfulness in destruction? Are your wonders known in the place of darkness? Or your righteous deeds in the land of oblivion? but I cry to you for help, Lord. In the morning my prayer comes before you. Why, Lord, do you reject me and hide your face from me? From my youth I have suffered and been close to death. I have borne your terrors and am in despair. Your wrath has swept over me. Your terrors have destroyed me. All day long they surrounded me like a flood. They have completely engulfed me. You have taken from me friend and neighbor. Darkness is my closest friend. And I read that full psalm because I think there's a lot of people in that despair right now. I think the tone is darker. Evil is showing its face right now in a way that I haven't seen. Not, I'm 42, yeah, there's revival, but how many people are still in depression going, my friends are being saved, what about me?
Mm-hmm.
How many people in the church feel that way? Like, I'm in the prayers, and I'm at the group, and I'm doing the thing, and here's David.
A man after God's own heart.
Right.
Chosen by God.
That's huge words.
Chosen.
I mean, he is
Chosen of God.
Yeah, to say a psalm, to say a journal entry like that. Whew. I mean, that sums up exactly what you're talking about. I mean, that's like nailed it perfect.
And you sharing that with me today meant it really ministered to my heart, because David was a man after God. In Hebrews, he's called a man after God's own heart. And so it's like, every little bit just helps me get rid of those, that stuff that's been clinging to me and whatever. So just helps my faith.
And it's important to realize.
It's been steps. It's not like, whew, all of a sudden I'm better. It's taken a long time.
And that darkness is not the truth. I mean, we know who David was. We know he was chosen of God. And when you're in the depth of that moment, feeling that abandoned and that alone, David wasn't alone. God was still there, and he still had a plan and an entire ministry for him. And for anybody else who's out there feeling that way, to realize that, God still has a plan for your life, and that through this darkness, somewhere there's being used for his glory down the road. And we can see that in David's life. We can see that in Wendy's life.
Yeah.
And so it's just so encouraging. And so for those folks who are feeling that lost and that dark down the hole, that God is not gone. He is still there, and he's still bringing about his will.
I think that brings the Adam or Chuck would be able to tell me which verse it is, but where God says, he won't give you more than you can handle. I think that's something that I wrestle with, and I mean, like, when you're at a point like that,
we all do, yeah.
And you're like, I really can't handle this, God. Like, you're telling me, I believe you, I trust you, but this is getting heavy.
It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, but I think, reading Psalm 88, and like you said, unpacking it a little bit like that, and thinking of David, I think it just shows that he does have a plan. And as hard as it is sometimes, and as much as the world wants you to kind of succumb to it, if we keep focused on, who our real guide is through this journey, we'll get through that. Obviously, easy for me to say. I didn't go through what you're going through, and I hope I don't. But just, my own battles that I've been through.
And Satan is the father of lies, and he wants you to believe that this is who you are. This is what your life is about, and it's not.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah.
And he got to me when he convinced me I was never really a Christian.
Yeah.
And that spirit of rejection, I have struggled with that spirit of rejection my entire Christian life. Did I really? And I mean, I've prayed the salvation prayer, 20 times. I've, gone forward. Whatever. I've just always struggled with that spirit of rejection. And I just want to say that is from Satan.
Yeah.
But
Were you struggling with that? Like you're saying, like at the church level or even at work or just rejection in general or more just the internal
just-
spiritual rejection
yeah.
feeling? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Satan trying to tell me I'm not a Christian.
Okay.
So like it was just really bad. I mean, and Kurt was on the road a lot, and like when he was gone, I would eat like a cheese stick or a yogurt a day because I'd take my meds.
Yeah.
So I had to have food, take my meds.
Yep.
That was it.
That's not much food.
I lost 50 pounds, which
That's a
I
horrible
didn't really
diet plan.
mind.
Yeah.
But it's
One cheese stick a day doesn't. Oof.
or yogurt. Or
Yeah.
But when he was home, he kept me fed and watered very well.
I do
And-
like to cook.
Kurt, I just have to say, was always so kind and patient. So kind and patient. It would have been so easy for him to go off on me about, can't you do anything around here? I mean, you could at least put your plate in the dishwasher, just,
The easy stresses.
I have no clean clothes, whatever. And he never, ever did. He never had an unkind word to say to me. And there was certainly opportunity for it. And here's the thing. I mean, I guess this comes down to what I think is the most important. I was absolutely suicidal for over 2 years. Every day, I prayed I would never wake up. I had plans. I knew how I would do it, and but I never told anybody. None
I
of
had
the.
no idea
Yeah.
that it was that dark.
Wow.
I didn't tell a single therapist I saw. I didn't tell a doctor. I didn't tell anybody in my family.
Your college girlfriends, nobody.
Nobody.
And were you fairly open with some of your family, some of your close friends, therapists, with mostly everything else at this point? Or are you starting to kind of hold back certain things because it's like
I'm
we've
kinda-
talked about it, it's not helping, or
Right.
you're kind of in like this. Well, I guess you weren't eating, but sleep, hate, repeat thing, almost day to day. Okay.
And so when people say, I had no idea, a loved one commits suicide, and they say, I had no idea, I didn't know, whatever. Yeah,
That's very believable.
that is absolutely 100% believable. And, if you know that a loved one is maybe feeling a little off or down or just choose kindness. You might think that something you are saying is motivational, let's go exercise, let's, do this, do that. I mean, you might think you're being motivational, but, and I completely understand the frustration of a spouse that is dealing with this in a partner. I was worthless. And how you might lose your patience or whatever, with them. But if that would have happened, I would have been gone.
So just the
Because-
sympathy, kindness, compassion was what the thin fishing line string that was holding you on
Yeah.
was basically that Kurt was providing for you versus the trying to kick you in the butt and be like, oh, you're going to be okay today. We can go for a walk outside.
Tough love, yeah.
The tough love thing that us men are so
Prone to.
think we're good at, you know.
Prone to.
And
not
to each
good
other,
at.
we might be, yeah, okay, that's a good way to put it. Prone to versus good at. Yes. Yes, sometimes. Yes. Okay. So that's that.
And by the grace of God, I mean, I look back and it's like there's been plenty of other times in our relationship where, you know, I've said something stupid or insensitive. I mean, I'm not the king of suave, and the fact that I didn't push her over the edge in these moments, I had an awareness that she was hanging on a cliff by her fingernails, and the last thing you do is expect her to wave at the parade going by.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect things, and I didn't push for things. But it's not because Kurt's so in tune to what's going on in his home. It's not because he's, you know, some sort of bastion of patience and whatever. I thank God for his grace that I didn't stumble into something that would have triggered that. Because, again, it's not a measure of me being aware or even cognizant of how bad it was for her. I mean, I knew she was struggling.
Yeah.
And this is, again, where I speak to the caregivers out there. I mean, for you that are coming alongside folks, you can't comprehend it. I couldn't comprehend it. I don't understand it, but it's every bit as real as cancer. It's every bit as real as a broken leg. We don't expect someone with a broken leg to get up and go shopping. Somebody with depression, you might go shopping for them, but, oh, you're just enabling them to do nothing. It's like, no, you need to understand that it's just as real as a broken leg, and you wouldn't expect somebody to get up and go shopping with a broken leg. So I don't know where the line is, and I'm not a medical professional, and I'm not a overly intelligent guy. I mean, I get by, but by the grace of God. And
That's
so
amazing.
to the care providers out there, your loved ones are counting on you, and just like Wendy said, err to the side of love and grace if you can, because it's not easy, and there's no clear path ahead of you. It's just as murky as it gets.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that from your side. And I think the honesty you share, you know, unpacking that with the, I'm not holier than thou. I'm not this perfect anything.
I haven't figured anything out, man. I'm still walking the edge of that.
But just the fact that God was working in you at
if
a
we
point,
let him, he will.
Yeah.
And it's trusting him to do that despite our own humanity
At a
and our
point-
getting in the way.
at a point where she needed everything you gave her. And God worked through you in that manner to not be the maybe 25 years ago Kurt who'd say something else or whatever it was. You were at
10 minutes
right,
ago.
Yeah.
I'm that guy all over again.
But in that time frame,
Right.
you were able to be exactly what she needed.
By God's grace and
Yeah.
his provision, yeah.
Amen. Amen.
And I am so happy I am still here today. I can worship again. Oh man, just a good worship song just sends me over the edge.
In a good way.
Yeah, my grandkids.
Yeah, let's clarify that edge. Yes, thank you.
I have the most amazing grandchildren.
Our kids are
Our kid, yeah.
have a couple of exchange students. I mean, just she's opening up to life again, whereas she hadn't for a long time.
So what helped? You know, you said we didn't get off subject. We just unpacked Kurt a little bit there. When you were, had planned how you would do it, and you were at that suicide point. Where was the turning point for you? I mean, what? Obviously, Kurt's compassion and sympathy was a huge piece of what kept you going. But what was there something that just clicked finally, or where do you kind of go from there?
Yes, there was. One of my therapists and I had kind of kicked around the idea of ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. It is the old-fashioned shock treatment,
Okay.
but they do it much differently.
Way refined now compared to what it
Nowadays.
was in the 40s and 50s.
Got it. Okay.
Like I found out during this time of, once I developed postpartum depression, my grandmother developed that every time she had a baby. And she would, so like by the fifth baby, she was institutionalized for 6 months. She did not see her baby or any of her family for 6 months. And she was getting shock therapy, the kind where they strap you down in leather whatever and put whatever in your mouth. And nowadays, it's under anesthesia.
Okay.
So it's just...
And you have a muscle relaxant
you
that
don't
works
even
so
know
you don't have all the...
Yeah.
You don't even know what's happening. You just go back and go to sleep.
And it's something you do like a treatment plan kind of thing? Or is it like
So, yes, when I first started, it was 2 weeks, 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, wow.
And then it went to, and even by the 5th treatment, the gal was asking me, anything better yet? No, nothing's better. And so when they went in that time, she said, let's do bilateral today. That means both sides of your brain.
Okay.
And so so they did that, and then when I went in for the 6th treatment, I'm right on the edge of falling asleep, and I hear them say unilateral, which means they're only going to do it on one side. I'm like, pick up, no, do bilateral. I'm like, give it all you got, guys.
Yeah.
I want to feel better.
Yeah.
And I bet I've been doing ECT for 2 years now.
Okay.
But I'm probably down to like once a month or
Okay.
once every 6 weeks. Or
Is that still,
like that.
would it be still a treatment or more like a preventative maintenance or more like just a...
Kind of a little bit of both. I mean, it
Yeah.
keeps you leveled out,
Yeah.
but if you need it, it kind of does serve as a little bit
If
of
something
a treatment.
it kind of just keeps you... Okay.
No.
Very interesting.
and is not as scary as that therapist that I had. It's not as scary as what she said it was.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, there's nothing else.
Yeah,
And-
you'd done everything.
Yeah. And there was this little fear of, okay, that's the last thing. What if that doesn't work?
And I think she held off on this for a long time because A, the story she'd heard about her grandma, and that was terrifying.
Yeah.
And B, this is the last arrow in the quiver. It's like, if this doesn't work, there is really, what else do you try?
Mm.
And so I've likened it. I mean, the only way I can think of it is if you get dropped off in the middle of the ocean, can't see shore, can't see a ship, can't see a buoy, can't see anything, and you need to swim. Where are you going to swim? What course of action do you take? Is it effective? I mean, you're stuck with nowhere to go, and there's nothing more hopeless in my mind's eye and imagination of being stuck in the middle of the ocean with nowhere to swim. How long do you struggle? How long do you fight it? And so for her, this was the last thing, and so she was reluctant to try it at first. And we tried the ketamine, and it was a huge disappointment.
Yeah. You were
And
22%.
not for lack of trying and not for lack of caring people and whatever, but it just didn't work for her. And so she was terrified to take this last step from the history and then from the fact that if this doesn't work, my ship is really sunk.
It's kind of like firing the last bullet. You're like,
Yeah,
this is
it's
my
terrifying.
last one.
Yeah.
I'm really holding on to this one.
Yeah. The wolves are at the door, and
Yeah.
you've only got one bullet left, and there's a dozen wolves out there. What are you
Yeah.
going to do?
Yeah.
You know, it's terrifying.
So what was it basically just a heave at this point? Like internally you had this plan of almost just being done and you're like, okay, we're going to try it. Like this is it. And you went for it and things
Contacted
started.
him myself. Just got the ball rolling on everything. And, yeah.
Well, that's a big step too, just for you. I mean, listening to how you were, you actually taking that little initiative was probably not at the moment. You probably didn't think about it, but now looking back, listening to it, it sounds like that was probably not just a baby step. That was like
It was
a huge jump for you
Absolutely.
to actually even initiate it and go about it yourself. Of like, hey, I need to go one more on this and try this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during this process then, when did God start, I mean, the whole time he's probably still knocking on you and you're kind of slamming the door a little just because you were like, hey, why are you making, like Psalm 88, like we just went through. At what point were you kind of like, okay, I need to crack this door back open and either give some thanks or keep asking for help through this? Maybe you were. I'm just asking.
It did, that did start to crack about the same time I started ECT.
Okay.
And, like, I mean, your mom, who was the maid of honor? I don't know which one of us got married first. She was the maid or matron of honor at my wedding. And some of our college friends, we did get together at Paul and Sheila's camper for a weekend, and those people poured into me like you would not believe. Just talking and praying, and their kindness, and yes, God does love you, and you are Christian, and even actually my first ketamine treatment, they say that you might get a message or something in ketamine treatments, and so my first one was, you are a good person and you do love Jesus.
Mm.
So, and I held on to that for a long time. So, yeah. But I started to return some phone calls, like people
Text
who had
messages and
texted me, and I had ignored for a year, and I started to return some of those, and just kind of really got connected back in with some lovely, lovely, dear Christian people. And, Scripture's right. We are not supposed to be a lone wolf.
No. Yep.
So, that has helped. And, I guess also for anybody struggling with this, I think there really is a spiritual component to it. And I did somehow open myself up to it. Gave the devil a door or whatever. I don't know what, or I named off those things earlier. My mom passed away, COVID, blah blah blah. But if you are a Christian, you do have power and authority over Satan to rebuke him and, kick him out of your life. I didn't do that because I was convinced, Satan had me convinced I was not a Christian. And so, this just really hung on and whatever. I guess even like to anybody who might be in this kind of situation, Jesus is the answer,
Amen.
And by the power and authority of Jesus, you can take dominion, I can't think of the right word, authority over Satan. So I think that's just really key to this whole mental illness thing as well.
Don't give up. Don't let the thoughts become. Don't let, like I said, that is just, like Kurt said earlier, that is just the devil attacking you, telling you you're not good enough, telling you you're not a Christian, trying to take ownership of you. That is just the devil.
Right.
And he's got you right where he wants you, on the mats.
And I think when you don't acknowledge him, he's winning.
Yeah.
When you call him like it is, like, hey, devil, I think, now there's the saying, like, hey, Satan, not today. You see the bumper sticker, or the meme or whatever, and we all chuckle or whatever, but it's like, if you actually say, think about it and mean it, like, no, like, say, not today. We're not going there. This headspace thing, like, I see you trying to crack this door. I'm not going there today. Yeah. And if you take that ownership, that's a big piece of it.
Yeah.
Obviously not an easy piece.
No.
But just knowing.
He's a deceiver.
Yeah.
He's a liar. But there is hope. I am not the same person today that I was 2 years ago. When you've been in this for 2 years, you really start to think, what is the point?
Yeah.
But there is hope. Just keep seeking, and, seek and you shall find. And just remember, for those of you out there who, maybe have loved ones in this kind of situation, they very likely will never tell you.
Yeah. That's the big thing that I think resonates, hearing it from Kurt, living with you, being with you for,
So
30 plus years at this point, roughly. And
you're aware of the struggle, but I didn't know how deep
At
it
the
went,
level.
and that the resigned to being done was what I did not pick up on.
because human, I think what's so unique, and I think those, for people that hunt, I relate it to, an animal, they have such a willingness to live. Like, they're so resilient because the body is made to, like, heal itself and live, and it just
Overcome,
knows.
thrive, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you have those hunting things where it's like everything went right, and somehow you end up tracking this animal or whatever, and it's like, how is this animal, And I think, like, as humans, we have that, but when you lose that, but when you get to that point where it's like that willingness is like literally that thread, like that strand of hair, that little, that's all that's left.
Yeah.
That's a very scary place,
Yeah.
especially, like you said, not being able to even see it.
Yep.
You just
It's
know it's
invisible,
low.
invisible in so many ways, and
Yeah.
so camouflaged with the rest of the struggle of the experience that you just don't have a sense that it's there. And again, back to the folks who were caregivers and alongside folks, the text messages from her college girlfriends, and they didn't give up when she didn't respond, and they kept reaching out,
They're resilient.
and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I didn't respond. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I had nothing to say.
And I wasn't aware of all the
Yeah.
ways they reached out either until later. We talked about it, and I got a vision of, in some line of sight, to the fact that they were still there for her and praying for her. And even though she didn't respond, I know those girls were praying for her.
Never give up. I think that's a huge statement for like you said, anyone going through this, but anyone going through anything even close to this. As people, we live in a world where everything's instant gratification, and it's just better. And you got the medicine or whatever. We have this image of what it's supposed to be,
Flipping the light switch on and
yeah,
off.
yeah. It's either on or it's off. It's that easy. It's black and white. And I think that encouragement of, check in with family, check in with friends, check in with that person that you barely know, but you know enough that they need to just hear from you.
That coworker, whomever it may be.
Yeah, and don't be discouraged by lack of response.
Yep.
Don't give up. And I
Yep.
think that's a huge bit for us all to just kind of hold on to, because
Be
it's
our
so
brother's
easy.
keeper.
Yeah,
Be our brother's
yeah.
keeper.
That's
Because in this spiritual body, we're all brothers and sisters, and looking out for one another is everybody's job.
yeah,
And those ladies took it serious. They were there when she came to a saving grace and the knowledge of the Lord in college, and they've been there along the way.
that's incredible, and that's amazing. That group, that small knit group, of how it shows the power of the Lord in that group. Because I guarantee, I don't know your guys' group that well, but I'm sure each one of you has had a struggle. Each one of you has been through something, and to stay there for each other
Yeah.
and show sympathy and empathy and kindness, instead of being, hey, you can do it, and just like you talked, just showing that kindness,
Yeah.
and not trying to just provide the easy cop out, go for a walk today, or try fruits and veggies, or whatever it is. Just being there and understanding them as a human and taking it to that base layer
Yep.
is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And life is hard. Life's a struggle the whole way through, and you've never been a parent until you've been a parent. You've never taken care of your aging folks and worked through hospice until you've worked through hospice. I mean, life is a brand new experience every day. And so the things we don't know and the things we learn along the way, if we can share those things with our brothers and sisters and help them along the way, it's just really, really key. So I take that to heart and hope this is helpful. And I am so proud of my wife for being willing to speak up. I know there was a number of times she's like, I just don't think I can do this. I don't want to do this. I'm not the right person for this. And yet, who better? It's like Moses saying, I can't speak, Lord, but you're chosen to do this, and you have an opportunity and a voice. And I'm just so proud of Wendy for stepping up. And I know there's people out there who are going to hear this and can relate to this.
Yeah.
And I hope to be a voice for some of the folks who are walking alongside those folks who've never experienced this, but don't give up. Stay in the fight. Stick side by side with them and hold their hand through every moment of it, because there is a new day on the other side of it all. And I hope everybody gets to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do too. I hope that if this, gets to even one person who it's helpful to, I will be happy, and it will answer my why.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was really struggling with why.
Yeah.
So
I think, you put all these things together, and I don't think there's such thing as coincidence. It's a God plan. Just listening to the way that you were able to connect with those same girls that helped, those college friends that helped you through it, just like with Kurt, and then to all of a sudden get connected to this, and then have the faith and the trust in God to lead you to come down and do this, and then us being able to have this platform. The timing, it's like there's no coincidence there, right? It just makes me smile and makes me overjoyed through something that you share, something that's so dark for you. But I'm just overjoyed with when you look at like who's pulling the strings. Tell me God doesn't have a sense of humor.
And praise God for getting us through it all.
Wow. It's just, wow. It's very powerful. It's very neat.
I really thank you guys for all the work that you do here. You probably can't see it on your end of the camera, but there's cords and wires and tripods and this and that, microphones everywhere.
Chuck and Aaron on the other side of it, making it all happen.
And it is a lot of work for you guys and a time commitment. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thanks for making us not sound professional with all the wires everywhere and everything. And I'm just kidding. No, I want people to know it's as authentic as it is. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to comment on or unpack a little, Adam or Chuck?
We are actually going to have to pause the recording for a little bit. Our drive that we record this on is
full.
Well, we're at the perfect time, and then I think we're good then. So
this is a perfect.
I want to
thank you guys so much for. It's 200 miles away. You guys traveled 200 miles to come and do this, and as a married couple too, this is Wendy's strength, and this is Kurt's strength, and this is your guys' strength as a married couple. Like, this is why it's important. I think like there's a younger generation that is like questioning, do I get married? Well, you guys are a testament to it. You know what I mean? Like this is the point. It's not like ease of paying bills. It's not it's not well, I can get a nicer car if I, have someone
double
else.
my income.
Yeah, dual income.
Yeah.
No. It's
this. Yeah.
It's being like each other's witness to get in life, and this covenant of marriage together, what that looks like. We've talked a lot in years. Yesterday, 10 years of marriage.
That you put that with us too, like just not to like make this a me thing, but yesterday was my 10-year anniversary, and now I'm listening to this story with this amazing married couple, 34 years and it's just like, wow, like it's overwhelming. It's amazing.
Awesome stuff.
No, I appreciate it.
Awesome stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. All right, everybody. Till next time.